What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Last time, we were still in the second room investigating. Let's try and do a brief recap of what we've done, more for my benefits, so I can try... Get out of my way, yo! Let's see. There were the angels. There was the cloth with the optic fibers. There was the inside of the castle, which had the blankets and the two rocks that lit up. What else? I feel like we haven't examined this side yet. Let's see what we can find. It's a cute candy fairy sitting on a tree stump. The cloth in the back, along with the decorations, really give it a magical atmosphere. When you look at it, it almost feels like you're spellbound. What we need to look for is the hidden truths of the real world. What the fuck are you talking about, Bad? Don't be fooled by the fairies. Well, okay. Hey there, how's it going? Don't turn around, don't turn around. If you do, you're only gonna eat that castle. This forensic officer seems to be on a diet. Well, how could you resist? It's like all icing. Oh, come on. There's a burner and some chemicals over here. They're probably used to make desserts. What are these chemicals? The writing on the labels say, Number 1, punch out. Number 9, suffering. Are they poisons? No, they're both used to make desserts. Seems to be artificial flavoring and coloring. Punch out is a catchy name for a fruit punch essence. Very misleading. What bothers me is what suffering stands for. Maybe it's spicy, which is just sounds awful for a dessert. Why is there a painting here, not on the other one? It says, The Four Fairies and the Curious Candy Castle. It seems that this was the theme for Delicia's works. But it's not just the Candy Castle that I'm curious about. Okay. Here are all the tools used to make desserts. Everything from a bucket of fresh cream to a brush and a trowel. Looks more like a construction worker's tools. Hey now, boys, don't undersweet, mate. Oh, don't Yep, that's what I said. Don't undersweet-mate the work of a pastry chef. That was just unnecessary. It's completely different from construction work, where they cover the walls with cement. We use the trowel to smear the cream and the brush to clean any uneven parts. How is that different from construction work? We've examined a lot of things so far. What else could we be missing? We've already examined this. Let me just double check. One rainbow-like device and one fluorescent cloth have gone missing. Could there be some connection to the case? We've already examined the burner. What about the fridge? Can we look at the fridge? There's a cover on the wall, just like in Master's room. Let's open it. The room temperature is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, and the lights are all set to green. Gustavia said that 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the ideal temperature for fresh cream. This room's temperature is too high. The rent is too high! I guess that's not even relevant anymore. That's not even topical. Temperature in Delicia's room is too high for fresh cream. This is intriguing. Well, what logic do we have now? We've examined a lot of things. Fragile desserts. Cream is melting. High room temperature. Good echo. Blah, 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 hoo-ha. Hoo-ha, man. The reason the fresh cream is so fragile is due to the temperature in this room. So my shoes got creamed because the room temperature is set at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Speaking of which, when you open the castle door, the doorknob didn't break. Yeah? It was stronger than I thought. Strong? A dessert? Detective Bad, could you have a closer look at that doorknob? Oh my, she's cheating yet again! It's not a dessert. This is... It would seem this doorknob isn't a dessert. What the fuck, Delicia? And it's not just the doorknob. This castle and the fairies are just plastic molds coated in fresh cream. Then this isn't a dessert piece at all. It would seem they're just fake desserts covered in fresh cream. Delicia made fake desserts. What are her true intentions? Cheating, obviously. She's not as talented as she seems. Delicia broke the rules. Fake desserts! You're damn right that's related. Using decorations that were against the rules and making fake desserts. A lot of Delicia's actions seem suspicious. Yeah. It doesn't seem like she's aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Also, the temperature of this room is way too high. Is there a reason for that? Fake desserts added to the court record. I wonder. I think we should ask Delicia directly. Delicia, why are you cheating? Time to go to jail! Waterboarder in the river right behind you. The room temperature's too high. Delicia, why is the room temperature set to 68 degrees Fahrenheit? The cold doesn't agree with me. Plus, it's bad for the body. This figure doesn't just maintain itself, you know. I have to constantly eat desserts to maintain my plumpish figure. Naturally, as a lady, I want to look young forever. I wonder how old Miss Delicious really is. Raymond, a true gentleman never asks a woman her age. This room is mainly filled with cream. And 50 degrees Fahrenheit is the recommended temperature for preserving fresh cream. What, really? Now it's all gone to waste. It looks like Miss Delicious didn't know. Delicia seems lacking in the basic knowledge of dessert making. Well, that explains those two pieces of logic, why she'd need to learn. I thought she was supposed to be a first-class pastry chef. The fake desserts and the rule violations, and now, her lack of basic knowledge. Looks like she keeps many secrets. You just wait right there while I put some logic together in my head. Ba-da-ba-dum-ba-bum. Delicia's knowledge in the art of dessert making is lacking in fundamental areas. And she claims she went into Mr. Master's room in order to study his desserts. These actions and ideas are not fitting of someone aiming to be the world's greatest pastry chef. Yeah. He says yeah a lot. They don't sound like the words of a pro. It's like she doesn't even realize it. Or maybe she isn't a real pastry chef. Perhaps she had some other intention, ulterior motive. It's possible she didn't go into the room to study desserts. So then, are you saying Miss Delicious is the criminal? We can't say that for sure yet. But I know she's hiding something from us. That's enough! Investigating. We found much more than I expected. And yet, something from before still bothers me. Prosecutor Von Karma must have found the murder weapon in this room. So then, why did he let Delicia be? Firstly, I must ascertain Von Karma's true motives. Detective Bad, I'd like to ask Prosecutor Von Karma something. I've also got business with him. And Delicia there, too. What's the idea, Baddie? Don't glare at me like that. It seems Detective Bad also has his doubts about Delicia and Von Karma. Delicia, would you come with us for a moment? Yesy, that's fine. What for? Jail. We have to find Von Karma. There are some things we need to talk about. It's so close to Christmas. That's absolutely how this is gonna end, I'm pretty sure. It'll be Christmas Day. Prosecutor Von Karma, we need to talk about the case. From the look on your face, I assume you found the murder weapon. Yes. We discovered the murder weapon in Delicia's room. It would seem Mr. Master isn't the only suspect in this case. Bah! That's not true. Where the murder weapon was found does not change the fact that Master is the culprit. As long as I'm here. Why is Von Karma so sure of himself? Well then, aren't you going to explain? Why the murder weapon was in Delicia's room? Naturally. If you wish to know, I'll tell you. Sounds like, face to face, yes. In order to pin the crime on Delicia, Master used the rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He then deposited the murder weapon in Delicia's room. If he'd left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been one suspected. He couldn't move the body, but it was easy to move the murder weapon. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene. Mr. Master took the rock salt lamp. Precisely. I carried out the investigation myself. There can be no room for doubt. Do you have evidence that he moved it? That will not be necessary. Whoa! I thought evidence is everything. Von Karma, you big old hypocrite. If you have an objection, say it! Do you think a mere defense attorney can break my logic? Pin the crime on Delicia. Use the rock salt lamp to kill the victim. He took the rock salt lamp from Delicia's room. Exactly. In order to kill Dover, he had prepared the murder weapon beforehand. But the murder weapon was found in Delicia's room. Doesn't that place suspicion on Delicia too? I'm not finished. Master killed Dover. Deposited the murder weapon in her room. So the murder weapon was the rock salt lamp hidden inside the candy castle. See, why would the lamps be inside the castle then, hidden away? I discovered the murder weapon when I entered the castle. Be thankful, defense attorney, that you too came by this information. Why was it necessary for you to enter the castle? Maybe he's interested in candy castles. Why, do you think I went in there because I wanted to? The detectives at the scene were useless, so I had to investigate myself. I wasn't in charge of the initial investigation. Bad joined the investigation halfway through. Bah! A certain work ethic is required if you are to gain my trust. This is a flagrant waste of time. I'll continue. If he had left the murder weapon at the crime scene, Master would have been the one suspected. Wouldn't the body left behind in his room also be cause for suspicion? Moreover, I have a favorite saying. I'd like to share it with you. Even dogs can wait. Has he really ever said that before? Ever in his entire life? Even dogs can wait? Wait until I finished! That's exactly what I'd like to say to you. He couldn't move the body, but it was easy to move the murder weapon. Are you saying that Mr. Master removed the murder weapon and hid the body in the chest? He believed that if he hid it inside his own work, it would not be discovered. So savory! Don't you mean so sorry? She shows no sign of remorse. He moved the murder weapon and left the body at the scene. Ergo, there would be no evidence pointing to a specific culprit at the crime scene. This definitely feels like the statement I need to present something on. I don't know what yet. We'll have to look through the evidence. I'll probably get it wrong the first time. How can you conclude that Mr. Master's the killer without any evidence? You think that will shake me? You disappoint me. As long as the body was found in Master's room, he's the prime rib roast. Objection. Is there really no evidence pointing to anyone else at the crime scene? Surely there's room for further investigation. Insolent attorney. Another investigation is not necessary. Master must be the killer. If you think differently, cease these pointless words and speak with evidence. Think back to the crime scene. If Mr. Master isn't the killer, there must have been something there incriminating someone else. It seems Von Karma won't be shaken easily. I'll just have to present evidence that contradicts his reasoning. Okay, so it's evidence we found in the crime scene, which really does... I'm gonna move the body. Here we go. Okay, let's see. So some sort of fingerprints, some of the fingerprints. That's possible. It's possible. Jeff's teapot. I don't know about that one. The mansion key, no, that's not gonna help us here. Contest rules isn't gonna help us. Could be the cloth, but I don't think so. I think what they want might be these fingerprints. Objection. Nope, that's not it. contradicts a piece of evidence. Von Karma's logic is perfect. The very thought of a contradiction is inconceivable. All right. That's okay. We've still got plenty of health to work with. Something else incriminating. It's weird that we would jump to Jeff's teapot, though, but it is there and it has his fingerprints on it. Objection. Nope. Yeah. That didn't feel right to me either. Hopefully with this third statement, I'll be able to get it. Okay, let's think carefully. The crest of a design. PH. Oh, PH, isn't that the name of this guy? Yeah, PH is his initials. Why is that there? Victim's body was found in a chest. Blunt object. Maybe it involves the parts of the dessert missing. That could be it. Let's try presenting the notes. Objection. And there we go. It's true that the murder weapon and bloodstains disappeared from the vicinity. But there was still one piece of incriminating evidence left behind. Have a look at this photograph, which was taken when the body was first discovered. This cloth was used to wrap up the body. Doesn't it remind you of the fluorescent cloth from Delicia's room? My fluorescent cloth was at the crime scene? Ha! Fluorescent cloth. You. Just what part of this cloth is fluorescent? I guess Von Karma doesn't know about this cloth's secret. It looks like a normal cloth at first glance, but if you use this rainbow light device, you can make it glow. Prosecutor Von Karma seems a little surprised. I don't think it was the cloth's ability to glow that surprised him. One sheet of this fluorescent cloth is currently unaccounted for. Now, I'd like you to look at the color of the cloth in this photo. Don't you think it looks like the color of the fluorescent cloth before it's been lit up? Both the rock salt lamp and the fluorescent cloth originally belonged to Delicia. Wouldn't it be natural to assume that this cloth was used to wrap the body? Prosecutor Von Karma, I believe the present conditions give us much reason to suspect Delicia. Hold it, Greggy! Do you really suspect me? I don't yet know if you're the culprit. She's got these red puffy cheeks that reminds me of an old cartoon I used to watch in Korea. It was called Hukbangmen. And it was about a superhero whose head was made of bread, and he could feed his face to people to make them feel better. And then whenever his face would get small, he would replace it right from another one, right from the oven. It's really creepy if you think about it as an adult, but good times. It is true that you're hiding something, am I right? That's... So, you're saying that the murder weapon and the cloth were originally from Delicia's room? Yes. What's so funny? Just as I expected from you. The murder weapon and the cloth are not from her room. How unfortunate for you. What does he mean? Before the contest began, Master noticed her violation of the rules. He confiscated the cloth and the rock salt lamp and kept them in his room for safekeeping. What? The victim was not seen, as he stayed locked up in his room after the contest had begun. The only one who could have unlocked the locked rooms was Jeff Master. And the murder weapon, the rock salt lamp, was being kept in Master's room. This should be the decisive evidence in proving Master's guilt. Defense attorney, you've lost to me before you even had a chance to stand in court. What's this? What? Was all our investigating for nothing? Miss Delicious, why didn't you tell us about your confiscated items? Well, Mandy said I'd look suspicious if I did. Prosecutor Von Karma? And it's true you all suspect me, don't you? How clumsy of you, defense attorney. Von Karma! So that's why he let us investigate Delicia's room. And in your clumsiness, there's one more thing I need to inform you of. 2 sets of fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. Yes, they belong to Jeff Masters and Delicia Scones. No other fingerprints were found. After Master killed Dover with the confiscated rock-salt lamp, he foolishly concealed the murder weapon bearing his own fingerprints in its owner's room. I don't even need to prove my case in court. I have more than enough perfect evidence to prove Masters' guilt. Objection. Hold it! I still have some doubts about the fluorescent cloth found in Mr. Masters' room. Irrelevant. After disposing of the body, he intended to return it to Delicia's room. I don't have enough information to refute Von Karma's reasoning. Nothing left to say? If your job is done, leave this place. I can't give up yet. We've wasted enough time as it is. Bad, take them away. There are still some doubts left in our investigation. Detective Bad. What's the meaning of this? It's not my nature to leave any doubts behind. There is still one piece of evidence that is yet to be identified. That's right. There are still the traces someone left behind. Bah! Talk about your doubts as much as you want later. But this, my dear attorney, is none of your business. No. I also have some doubts about one piece of evidence. It's likely that I have the same doubts Detective Bad has. What? This is the piece of evidence left in Mr. Masters' room that is yet to be identified. It's totally Pierre Hoplaplapla's thingamajig. Oh no, I'm wrong? This is not the same doubt I had. Oh! The only thing I question here is you, defense attorney. There can be no unidentified evidence before Von Karma. That's so surprising. I really felt like that would be it. Please wait. I still have some doubts left. What? Is it the teapot? They are both Jeff's. Both the cufflinks and the teapot. But the teapot we know belongs to Jeff. The cufflinks we still haven't yet deduced yet. Oh no! I'm doing so bad this time! Wait, please! There's more! It could be the fingerprints. It could be the fingerprints. Somebody left glove finger marks on one of Mr. Masters' desserts. If these were the killer's finger marks, then it's possible that the killer also didn't leave any fingerprints on the murder weapon. How did you know the state of the crime scene? I gave them permission to investigate. Bad. What possessed you to let a defense attorney into the crime scene? I don't recall you telling me not to let them in. Such impudence! You'd best remember, Bad. Your salary review depends on me. This isn't good for Bad. This isn't bad for good. I'm so glad I have a kind boss like Mr. Edgeworth. Your salary review depends on how you perform here. I'm surprised that what a mere attorney like you managed to uncover in such a time. But it's possible these finger marks were Masters' own doing. Because he always wore gloves while cooking. Well then, he couldn't have left the finger marks on the murder weapon then. Do you have evidence that those finger marks were left by Master? And moreover, there are still a few points of suspicion surrounding Delicia. Oh? You still haven't given up on that? Greggy, you still suspect me? I've already apologized for stealing a few bites. We already know it's PHs. I don't want to suspect you. But I can't easily trust those who tell lies. You must still be hiding something. Greggy's a bully. Don't you know the temperature fresh cream must be kept at? You call yourself a dessert chef, but you lack even the most basic knowledge. I'm sorry for my lack of knowledge. In your case, it's not even about the lack of knowledge. In truth, You don't even know how to make desserts, do you? Defense attorney! Stop trying to force your own reasoning! In a court of law, the evidence tells all. Oh, now evidence is important? Shut the hell up! If you say this witness is lying, show the evidence. The evidence, that's not important, but it really is important, but it's not important when I'm talking about it. Shut up, Von Karma. We're not in court yet, but very well. This evidence shows that Delicia can't make desserts. Bum 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 bum. Oh, this one. The only things Delicia made were those that broke the rules. The lamp and cloth that broke the rules were being held in Masters' room. There's no way the witness could have returned them to her room. Objection! Those were not the only fake desserts she made. What? Her desserts may look like something out of a fairy tale at first glance. But in reality, they are nothing but mannequins decorated with creme. Apart from the creme, they're all fake. This is not something one aiming to become the world's greatest pastry chef would do. Is this too bad? Yes, my shoes can attest to that. Will that be enough to convince Prosecutor Von Karma? Once he sees what Delicia has done, he'll have no choice but to be convinced. Delicia, the fact that your actions could lead you to being a suspect is no laughing matter. I didn't murder. Isn't it time you told us the whole truth? Who are you, and why were you indulging yourself in another contestant's work? Yesy, I understand. And now, we'll let her truth and confession be a part of the next episode, because we're approaching 30 minutes, and don't you guys get used to 30-minute videos. Don't you get used to it. I just felt good about, the video today, and I just kept going. So, okay, why don't we leave this at that? So stay tuned. Hope you all have a lovely weekend. Yeah. And stay tuned next Monday for the next episode. Bye-bye.